Hey guys, before we begin, I just wanted to remind you that I will be doing renders for each and every character that appears for at least this season of Death Battle, as a way to celebrate the 10th anniversary. I'm going to be posting these on my DeviantArt. They might not be there immediately, but I will leave a link in the description so you can wait for them there. But without further ado, let's jump right in. Hello everyone and everywhere, whoever was or will be, I'm Redrunner, and today I'm joined by Momoyura and Time.
Hello, gamers.
Hello there. Hello.
Alright, anyway, we're watching DIO vs Alucard. Admittedly, I'm not super into either. They look kinda cool.
It's okay, Red. You don't always have to have base takes.
Yeah. As far as I'm aware, like, what I can say I know about the episode is just what Liam has said about the episode in the past, Swan. I know he thinks Dio should win, or has been very vocal about the fact that he thinks Dio should win.
Mm-hmm.
But if you guys could talk more about it, you probably know more than I do.
Yeah. I mean, Momo and I did work on the G1 prediction blog for Cardio here.
Yeah.
So both spent a good amount of time looking into this matchup and what it could fully entail in terms of who wins. I actually even wrote one of the verdicts myself.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to know how I feel who is going to win this episode, you can just go and read, and I guess you can put a link to it down below if you wish.
Sure, yeah, I can do that. Just to clarify, again, I'm not that well versed, but the one thing I think I know is Dio wins because he's just a lot faster, like way too fast, right?
Yes, Dio is a lot faster. There has always been a little bit of contention towards exactly how fast JoJo is, but with the ass load of faster than light feats that exist in the series, like cars reacting to UV light, Silver Chariot not only reacting to Hanged Man, but also to the sun's lasers, and you can even argue Joseph reacting to the Redstone of Aja's laser pointing down and the likes. And not to mention, there are direct statements from Star Platinum saying that it's faster than light outright, multiple of them.
Yeah.
It's safe to say that Dio will have a massive speed advantage in this fight.
And actually, on that note, how fast do people accept Alucard at, generally?
To my knowledge, the best speed feat in Hellsing Ultimate is most likely Alucard biting the bullet from old Rip Van Winkle. And that bullet's not exactly an average bullet, though.
Okay.
It traveled from an aircraft carrier up into the sky to hit Alucard's Blackbird Christmas present. As it was going straight down at Mach 3. And it was punching a bunch of holes into the Blackbird as it was going down, meaning that it is a lot faster than the Mach 3 jet, and Alucard was able to casually catch one of those in his mouth and crunch down on it like it was nothing. Which should put him probably somewhere in the hypersonic range, maybe a bit higher, I would imagine.
Alright.
Decent speed, but nothing on light speed.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Dio's going to have a considerable speed edge, like no matter what, because basically people do kind of find massively faster and light contentious, like, around the community. But the thing is, even if you exclude that, it doesn't really matter because he has baseline faster than light feats. So it's going to be a massive gap, no matter what.
Yeah. And then there's also time stop, but...
Yeah, that just makes it worse because now he just has all the time in the world. Well, not all the time, but you know,
most of it. I just realized I just realized I forgot to change my nickname, so it's just going to be Green Galloper in the start of the thing. The profile picture shows up accurately, but
Don't worry, Lime Launcher, you'll be fine.
oh, if I had to give some thoughts on the matchup, more from like what I'm knowledgeable on. Basically, Dio, besides disregarding the world and like its abilities, Dio has some counters to Alucard's stuff. Because the thing is, right, one of the things with Alucard is that he has really good regeneration. Definitely better than Dio's. But one factor people like to use is his end of series state, Schrodinger, and
Schrodinger.
Schrodinger, yeah. And it basically, I think it makes him like basically exist everywhere and nowhere at the same time. And people say Dio doesn't have a counter to this, which I would accept at first, but he has a couple. Mainly, he has hypnosis via eye contact, which Alucard likely doesn't resist. He has stuff to like break through illusions, but
and he
nothing
certainly
to
has a
hypnosis.
lot of eyes.
Yeah, it would work on him essentially. And even if it wouldn't, Dio also has flesh buds from part 3, and it basically works in the same way. Basically, just complete mind domination, and he could just take control of Alucard however he would want from there. And I know people have argued it wouldn't work, but Alucard has also shown to have internal organs several times, so I think it would probably work. But you could argue that case.
And honestly, I hate Schrodinger just because, with how little I know, but I know people think Dio wins, like, with or without Schrodinger. One of my friends just keeps bringing it up, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how.
Don't worry, Red. That exact statement of I don't know a lot about when referring to Schrodinger, that's all of us. No one fucking knows what Schrodinger.
Exactly, pretty much.
Sure.
It's just really vague.
So here's a little fun fact for the audience. So Schrodinger Alucard is mutually exclusive with Alucard's much more iconic familiar army, just because the entire point of the Major's plot was Schrodinger basically slit his own throat and fell into this massive pool of blood that Alucard was absorbing, so that Schrodinger would be absorbed as a familiar. And when Schrodinger entered Alucard's body, the weakness that Schrodinger possesses was translated over onto Alucard. And that is, Schrodinger can do his old, like, sort of omnipresence, everywhere and nowhere type of thing, so long as he can essentially observe himself as likened to by his name Schrodinger itself. In other words, he basically needs to be aware of his existence in order to really continue doing what he does. And when when he was thrown into the massive sea of familiars that Alucard possesses, he lost any sense of identity that he had, and Alucard lost any sense of identity that he could possibly have. And Alucard just winked out of existence for 30 years. And Alucard was only able to return after wiping out each of his other familiars, over 3 million of them, one by one, until he finally regained some sense of self-identity and returned to the present. So while current Alucard has Schrodinger, he can't have it alongside his familiar army at the same time, and Schrodinger Alucard has only appeared for a grand total of 8 pages in the Hellsing manga.
Yep, 8 pages.
Jeez,
literally 8.
All of that was so gibberish to me, but it probably made sense. Actually, no, it didn't.
You're welcome.
Alright, well, anyway, I guess we can just get into it, huh?
Yeah, I'm very excited for this episode. This has probably been one of my most hyped this whole season. Like, even as someone who doesn't know Alucard quite as well, but who thinks he's cool, it just has a lot of potential, and I think it could be really cool. And as a massive JoJo fan, it's probably one of my favorite series of all time.
Alright.
Really excited to see how they handle it.
This matchup has been very important to me for a long time, as it was directly tied into my process of getting into JoJo and into Hellsing well over 5 years ago, and both turned out to be some of my favorite anime of all time, and have developed into, this matchup has developed into such like a little passion project in my mind that seeing it come into reality is such a fever dream.
Somehow we managed to go for 11 minutes. Well, either way, it's not us. I can't talk. It's not up to us. It's up to these guys, and we might get it right. We might get it wrong. I don't know. But either way, let's start our show. Oh yeah, isn't this like the 5th longest episode or something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
neat.
behind the Mega Man Battle Royale, Naruto vs. Ichigo, Thanos vs. Darkseid, and of course, the big funny
Goku vs. Superman.
Vampires, the spawn of nightmares formed from the blackest pits of man's demented.
Wait, they just do this second now.
Basically the same thing.
What?
Do you get when you combine them? 2 of the meanest monsters out there. He's Wiz, I'm Boomstick. And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
He has really long arms when he wants to.
Imagine, if you can, someone
Which
so
one?
wicked that the shadows of
Alucard.
their unholy dickiness
Yeah.
literally destroyed the universe. You might
Ah,
think
maybe
they
he
had
practices his
Dio
morning
as the devil
stretches.
himself, but it was him, Dio. Born a penniless street rat with a cunning mind.
Already
him?
getting JoJo memes.
Yeah.
Already getting them.
Of course.
Poverty and abused by his alcoholic father. His bitter resentment and small dick energy.
Where would I got that weight for Dio from?
Good question.
And he'd get his chance to act when he was adopted.
A bit heavier than Jonathan,
Joestar
though.
family.
Over heaven.
Plan
This is just going to be full of memes and references, isn't it?
take his fortune for himself.
Absolutely. That's what JoJo's about.
Yeah. Speaking of which, the track name "Hell Over Heaven" is fantastic. A fantastic reference, and it's one I've been actively pushing for years. So that's also very nice. Good job, Dio.
God.
Gotta love brain acupuncture.
I'm actually really... It's weird to me how they've been doing that more and more. The, AI enhanced, comic manga panels.
Yeah, the editing in this has been really clean so far.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying the editing.
Yeah. Like you can really tell this season has stepped up its game in terms of trying to make conveying a bunch of comic and manga panels at least somewhat interesting.
And they already showed a city block count. Well, not count, but that's city block for you. The
Yeah,
cloud split.
we haven't gotten counts
Yeah.
quite yet.
Yeah, but that's a pretty impressive feat for Dio actually.
Oh look, so that's where Dio got his inspiration for donating from.
Oh, God. Now, that's a spoiler, but I know this is gonna have plenty of those.
I mean, it's a death battle. If abilities come relevantly from late parts of the story, that's kind of inevitable.
Yeah.
I still love in Natsu vs. Ace when the first, 2 minutes of Natsu's analysis were just casually spoiling things that were only revealed like a month ago in the manga. and then for Ace's analysis, 5 minutes into, warning, huge spoiler coming up for information that had been known for a fucking decade.
Nice.
He will instantly disintegrate. So, what did Dio do? Well, he cut off his own head, killed Jonathan on his wedding night, and attached his head to JoJo's body.
Yeah,
Well,
makes sense.
taken for sure.
The black box is pretty important too.
Dio is quite a Chad that he made his own adoptive brother give him head for a century.
Stop. Oh, no. Oh, no.
After being struck by a mystical arrow, sure, why not? Dio gained a stand, the embodiment of a user's life force. Since they're made of psychic energy, stands can only be seen by stand users and can only be hurt by other stands. Obstacle for any opponent lacking.
Oh, no.
Oh my god, Boomstick.
And,
What? What?
You know,
No.
that 99 bottles? Fair enough.
He just got transmutation.
Just,
Good job, Boomstick. You now have transmutation hacks.
oh, no. He can turn people into beer now.
He is drinking Whiz right now.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he's fine now. Maybe one of the clones showed up. That's a fun thing. Oh, no!
Of course they had to do it.
Of course.
Of course they had to do the funny line. Thank you, Liam.
Thank you, Liam.
There it is.
Gotcha.
And
Oh.
it's-
Oh,
There's
yeah.
the fist of meteors.
I wonder
That's
how they'll get
neat.
it for this.
They each have a kinetic energy of 441 kilotons.
Holy shit.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
That's large town level.
that's
What the
more
hell?
than people put JoJo at normally.
yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
god, watch
here's the
this get
funny
high
thing.
too. Watch this get absurdly high.
100 times the speed of light. And Dio himself has matched Star Platinum on his own. And taken
What number did they say?
on.
1,500,000. That's like
Wait,
I don't know. It's somewhere into massively faster than like plus.
definitely.
Yeah.
Roller!
Yeah. I've seen that feat get anywhere from like 300 to 1200, so I guess 1500 isn't too crazy.
Oh god.
I'm more surprised at the planet waves count. I've never seen it get that high.
Yeah. To be fair, I guess most calcs that do like give it pretty generous time frames. We're talking about goddamn meteors, so as well as gargling Dio's ball.
Made in heaven. Yeah.
Didn't he ultimately lose anyway, or am I wrong?
I guess it's 50-50. It goes both ways.
Really?
They did the funny Kono Dioda for his transition.
Nice.
Really
Okay,
good
and
analysis.
this is the one I know even less about, so this will be interesting.
You should watch Helsing, it's based.
Founded by famous vampire hunter Abraham Van Helsing and led by his descendant Integra, this secret government institution has saved the world time and again with their secret weapon.
And what better weapon to hunt vampires than with one of their very own, the no-life king, the bird of Hermes, Alucard.
There's our bird of herpes. Oh, he's only 2 inches shorter than Dio? Neat.
His name is Vlad. Neat.
I haven't watched much of Helsing. Alucard definitely was the best part.
Yeah, no. Just keep that in mind. He is casually wielding like 30-pound guns in either hand.
Yeah. Okay, you know. Okay,
Honestly, that's just the Kool-Aid Man after last time.
I love how they brought that up and they were like, oh, it's like this much. Oh, cutesy voice and all.
It's better done than some of the other transitions they've done to calcs in the early parts of analysis.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Of course, he wouldn't be a real vampire if he couldn't drink blood. The catch is, when he drinks enough blood to kill you...
Why was she blushing?
You know she was getting off on that shit. I prefer the term bloodle.
Oh yeah, his regeneration is nuts.
Organs like a regular human, like that he can spend whenever he's fatally injured.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. Although, like, if he has that ridiculous regen, what is considered a fatal wound?
Pretty much. So it's worth noting that he only loses a life if it's a wound that would be considered fatal to a normal Helsing vampire.
Okay.
Which
So, probably too long to explain.
In Helsing, it's pretty much just heart stabbing.
Yeah, okay.
A British aircraft carrier as part of an invasion of London.
Alucard didn't like that very much, so he jackknifed it with an SR-71 Blackbird at Mach 3.
A fully loaded Blackbird weighs 170
And yeah, here's this thing.
meaning it struck
There's his
a kinetic
Christmas
energy
list.
of 11 tons of TNT. That's as powerful as the U.S. Massive Ordnance Air Blast.
AKA the mother of all bombs, and Al's in the middle of it.
Which is not that accurate of a name when you think about it.
Impressive as intercepting Rip's magic bullets.
Are you saying that bomb doesn't emit Mad Mommy energy?
I guess I am. Also, when you describe this is not what I thought. When you said a bullet.
It's more of a musket ball, but still.
No, I mean the curving.
Oh yeah, she can control it, I will.
Yeah.
It goes without saying that Alucard's immense power and bloodlust needed to be controlled. So 6 restriction levels were placed on him that he can release.
I still don't know where they got the number 6 from. Because in the manga, it only mentions releasing levels 3, 2, 1. I assume
Level 1 is so cool. Not gonna lie.
Power Alucard can release when he wants to end the world. Level.
he has a cool coffin.
Once activated, Level 0 releases every single soul Alucard has consumed.
There's the funny army.
Blood-soaked zombies. All 3 million of them.
Sure, with his soul gone, he can't heal as easily, and if his heart
Is this just me, or did it look like they were riding on a slip and slide?
Numbers and power of this army from hell makes him virtually impossible to approach in the first place. Alucard backwards is
Dracula? Yeah,
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely really hard to figure out.
What a twist.
For control over Eastern Europe and impaled
Alucard was Dracula the whole
Oh,
time.
I get it.
Yeah.
Vlad the Impaler. Woo. I didn't get that at first.
Right before his execution, he took a big old
The name Vlad the Third Dracula didn't spoil it for you.
in order to become
I genuinely didn't connect it to Vlad the Impaler.
Maybe that's why he always lets his enemies rip into him like
Yeah.
a pinata
Alucard's
with
general
self-loathing.
philosophy is this whole idea of, like, he kind of categorizes people into three, well, categories. There are dogs, which are the common populist people that run from their problems and are basically little bitches. There are humans, those who rise above that in order to genuinely be the Chads of the planet. He views people like Integra and Anderson as humans.
And by the
And
way,
then
they're
there's
bringing
more.
up Schrodinger right now.
Yeah. I'm not surprised though. It's pretty important.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
pretty much what we already said. I'm just pointing it out. Because some people don't think we listen to this.
Souls inside of him until he could return to reality as his master. He undid his own unexistence.
Nice.
Now, Spoopy
Good job,
McGrath,
Alucard.
Alucard will show no mercy. He's just waiting for the day he meets a noble human warrior strong enough to end his unlife for good.
But should he face a fellow monster, a fool who rejected their humanity like himself, he'll let
Like
loose the
Dio.
dogs of war.
Like Dio.
All hell will sing.
Oh, sending the Dogs of War out to a JoJo character.
He does
Oh,
have a lot of
yes.
eyes.
That was Alucard sending out a dog to eat an eccentric blonde vampire that was voiced by Dio in both the dub and the sub.
Wait, really?
Yes.
That had to have been on purpose. Oh my god, that's kind of
The score
weird.
is really good, by the way. I really like the score. Probably one of my favorites.
Wait, hold on. Am I wrong, or is this the same environment as Zuko versus Roy?
I think it is.
It might be.
You interrupted my dinner.
Funny, I was just thinking about having mine.
Then by all means, take a bite.
It's magically delicious. And that's pretty much everything that happened in the DDX.
Yeah. Oh, it's neat. We're almost seeing it from Alucard's perspective.
Yeah, very subtle uses of the world. But funny, it was I. And now we get out of where the peak ended.
I'm a dog. Yo, dog poop.
Oh, hey, we just heard that one.
Yo, road roller.
I'm glad they're using it this early.
I mean,
Not gonna
I don't
lie,
think it should be saved for later.
I wouldn't have cared for it as a killing blow.
I mean, no, yeah. Oh, huh.
Level 0 this early? Alright. That was a very nice blood effect, though. Oh, hey, it's Leon versus Frank.
I feel like they should have at least, like, recolored the zombies.
A real fucking vampire.
And he's using the Force.
Also, I like how he just grows a beard.
Yeah.
Oh, this is really good so far.
Where the fuck did these huge arms come from? I know I can shapeshift, but I don't think he ever did that in the manga.
Ah!
Oh, that looks really cool.
Oh boy. What?
I guess that's one way to do it. I was expecting them to do it with the claymore and the stop sign, but alright.
You want blood, you disgusting monster? Choke on your
Ooh!
Yeah, that's one way.
Oh! That was badass. He had the stupid green lipstick, though.
Well, of course. This is crackhead Dio.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's a
he uses
cool
space
way
to
of...
rip their eyes.
Face me, Vampire King. Bow to your new god.
I really like that hand-drawn scene.
The bird of Hermes is lining my wings to make me tame.
Oh, that's a great line delivery.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, it's the funny pose.
The funny pose. Oh.
Oh!
And, alright.
Not surprised. But that was cool.
And he has turned the weather into raining.
And they put the
Even did the
JoJo,
funny-
another JoJo reference. Nice. That was amazing.
God.
Helsing, but Dio had everything he needed to clip the bird of Hermes' wings.
Alucard's strategy in most fights is to heal from an opponent's attacks until they get tired, then take advantage of an opening. But he couldn't do that here because Dio didn't really have any openings, and Alucard wasn't nearly as strong.
I think it was interesting how subtly they used the world in this fight.
Yeah.
It was kind of reminiscent of how the world is used in part 3. Since the world as a stand is a huge...
Yeah, he
Oh,
really
wow.
Yeah, those are some big numbers. The black boxes have been pretty good so far.
That's also true. The vampires function very differently in the
Yeah,
series.
there is a literal manga panel of Dio holding a cross in his hands and crushing it like it's nothing. And I mean, Dio fucks a priest, so what do you expect?
Yeah.
Dio's far greater speed and power meant that, given enough time, he could realistically kill Alucard 3 million times in quick succession, without viable options for attack or opening.
Yeah, the waiting for daytime is a very unlikely argument.
Oh yeah. That's actually really bad. Unironically waiting for the spawn.
Estimating the size of the clouds and the speed at which they moved, Dio's beams must have output an energy of over 10 megatons of TNT.
Oh,
What?
God. Excuse me.
Excuse me, bro. What?
Just like when the
That's
Super
what,
Vampire
City?
Monster could have killed him by piercing
Yes,
his
bro.
heart. Alucard even admitted it himself.
And
Didn't people have JoJo at like multi-city block?
and even that
Yes,
kind
I
of lower.
literally don't know where these numbers are coming from, but they sound amazing.
While Schrodinger's quantum immortality
I would
makes
love
him
for these
able to
numbers to be
kill
true.
normally, it is literally
Yeah.
part of the story that Alucard cannot have Schrodinger's abilities and his greater array of powers at the same time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
look at that.
No longer exist. We can't give him both Schrodinger and his standard powers without breaking the lore and rules of the character.
Even if we did, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't help him kill Dio at all, so at best it'd be a stalemate. Until Dio hypnotizes Alucard, amplifies his powers, and forces
Nice.
him to eject Schrody like the rest of his souls.
Nice.
Though it may be,
They implemented the win con that Liam talked about
and you
like a while back.
devastating abilities wore Alucard down until
Yeah.
no life
Liam mentioned that one on his blog like
Alucard got Dio'd.
probably like 4 years ago,
Boomstick, you tell the worst puns in
maybe longer.
That's right. You're just gonna have to deal with it. And hey, wait a minute, that was a pun. That's my
Thank you, bad
territory. We
puns.
talked about this.
Oh god, no. He's invaded Death Battle.
I'm really glad Dio got his win. And that was a really
God,
great
is
episode.
Dio gonna be the next overused recurring character?
Alright, next time.
Imagine.
Excited to see what this could be.
Imagine.
It's either
if
going to
that
be
happened,
a
though.
Kuma match or Korra match. One of those two. We'll see. Let's see. Oh shit!
Oh,
it is
boy.
a Kuma match. Is it versus Shao Kahn?
It's versus Shao Kahn,
shit.
yep.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Holy shit.
People
Holy
saw that
shit.
coming.
Yep.
We're getting a Mortal Kombat win after so long.
You basically tease the rest of the season in one trailer. It makes the next times little predictable.
Yeah.
Holy shit! That is too two very hyped matchups back to
I
back.
literally, every single time I think about it, I forget the number, but isn't there literally only one matchup that we technically haven't gotten revealed? Or
Yeah.
teased?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, just one.
Because Cardio here was the 12th episode of the season, and
We know the Korra
So-
we know the Korra matchup, this one, Akuma versus Shao Kahn. We know Mad Eisen. Technically, there's only one episode that hasn't been teased, but everyone expects that it's Galactus versus Unicron.
Everyone that knows it's Galactus versus Unicron, pretty much.
I get the feeling it won't be.
It's possible it won't. Of
It's
course.
very
There's no
possible.
guarantee. Yeah. Well, wow. That,
Listen, the most hype,
Kuma versus Khan.
the most hype thing that could possibly happen is it being Cole versus Alex, but I don't know.
Man, I gotta say though, that fight went fucking ham. Like, I was
absolutely.
I was not expecting Level 0 to come out that early, but with all of the like massive flowing blood visuals going throughout the entire city, that was pretty sweet.
Exactly, it really was.
It is insane how many 3D effects they've been putting into these recently.
Yeah, this fight was more or less a 3D fight, just with sprites instead of models.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun. I, of course, don't have any attachment to the characters, so I don't have much more to say past that. Same for the next time.
For the next time, I am very excited. I am very excited. Khan hasn't been in the show since season 2, and he's gotten a lot of new stuff. The same can easily be said for Akuma too, because he's been in the literally second episode of the series. So it'll be interesting to see what they touch up on.
In terms of Akuma or Kana, my opinion is that Akuma definitely deserves a run back, considering that his first appearance was in the second episode of the series ever, and they didn't even cover things like Shin Akuma, and since then, forms like Oni have come out. Akuma definitely deserves a run back. Shao Kahn, I really don't think needed one. And I mean, Akuma versus Shao Kahn is kind of just a worse version of Shao Kahn versus M. Bison as a matchup. Considering like the whole connection is Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter final bosses, but like Shao Kahn and M. Bison are Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter final bosses that are also leaders of like massive groups that want to conquer the earth and
lead like their own armies, basically.
And have abilities that are based on like weaponizing souls and the likes. And I don't know. I just feel like this isn't the best fight to bring Shao Kahn back to.
Yeah.
But I would have much preferred to see Akuma fight someone like Rao, but I was also expecting Khan.
Everyone knew that Rao wasn't going to happen because that fight's like only recently got popular. Like really popular. But
Akuma versus Khan fits the legacy mold of the show, of the season, much more. Since it's a pretty big thing, basically. You get the big fighting game rivalry in one. You also get the big returners from, past seasons, from really, really past seasons.
And, I really should clarify, I don't mind this. It's just like, I can see where people could have problems, because it's like, we already got the fighting game rivalry matchup earlier this season with Heihachi versus Geese.
Yeah, they threw each other in volcanoes.
And
I would also like to. Oh, sorry, you go.
And like Time said, the whole deal with Shao Kahn and how his powers are.
Yeah, and that's in the con. It's much more in line.
Yeah.
If there's one thing that will be nice, though, Shao Kahn has always been known for bringing a lot of personality and kind of fun quips in all of the things that he does, to the point where one of his main gimmicks in his final boss, all of the games, is stopping to insult you.
True. It should be fun.
So basically what I wanted to say...
Okay, you go first.
Alright. Basically what I wanted to say is... I know people noticed already, but I want to give my own 2 cents, basically. Akuma versus Khan, I know everyone knows it's not debatable, but you can actually make a lot of arguments for even in terms of like resisting Akuma's win conditions. because basically, Akuma has like the raging demon and stuff like that, which can potentially destroy one's soul, or it could destroy you based on basically how many sins you've committed. And in a way, it's kind of like pain manipulation. But the thing is, basically, Khan, his physiology kind of prevents that, because the raging demon is based on destroying one soul, and Khan is composed of, well, millions of them. So he basically have to do it millions of times over. And
so what you're saying is this is basically Dio versus Alucard if Alucard
again
is physically incapable of releasing his familiars.
Yeah, essentially. It's pretty much the harsh truth of it. And even if Akuma could affect Khan, because there's another argument, and that's based off it affecting the life force instead of the soul. Apparently, they can be argued to be different things. Life force exists in the Mortal Kombat universe and is referenced a few times in the games. So basically, Khan would have a resistance to it, no matter what you argue. And then he just one-shot him, basically.
Man, I would love for Akuma, or I would love for Shao Kahn to bring a fat dub. Mortal Kombat has been needing one of those for a good while.
Yeah.
As for cardio, though, I think that was a really good time. Like, that episode went hard. They did a real...
The analyses were fun.
Yeah, Liam has been really excited about showing this episode off, and has shown in past posts that this was at least at one point his most wanted matchup ever, and so I could definitely tell that he was really excited to show us his little passion project, and I think it came out wonderfully. Like, I've spent a lot of time imagining how this fight could really go down, and I gotta say, in terms of actual, like, execution and the likes, it turned out incredibly. Not quite how I imagined it in my head, but in a different way that I feel was also really, really solid. So,
yeah.
This is my favorite episode of the season. I don't know about you guys.
I don't think it beats Goku Black vs. Reverse Flash for me, but it was definitely more intricate.
I actually am having a hard time deciding which of the two is my favorite, but I definitely say DIO vs Alucard. Probably rise up to top 2 or 3 episodes this season. It's definitely a battle between that and Reverse Flash vs. Goku Black, because that was also a phenomenal episode.
Well, I guess that's it for us today. We had a lot to talk about, I guess, because this recording is nearing 50 minutes. Anyway, if you guys like this video, you can like it. If you didn't, you can dislike. But either way, I'll see all of you in the next video.
Now he just has all the time in the world. Well, not all the time, but,
Most of it.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if that was an intentional pun, but I didn't know how to bring attention to it naturally. All the time in the world.
That was actually unintentional.
Epic funny moment with Red Runner. Almost as epic funny as the epic funny moment from the classic death battle Ben 10 versus Green Lantern of time, huh? Thanks for the